You really have to be thankful for the Fast and Furious series sometimes. Those films really helped shape the car game genre in the mid-2000s. Take Juice for example. It's short, sweet, and simple street racing, right? It's got modifiable tuners, super fast performance cars, and even a few classic muscle cars. This game's as close to Midnight Club as you could get without actually playing a Midnight Club game. Is this a good thing? Sites like IGN seem to disagree. What the hell do they know? You came to get my opinion, and my opinion you shall get. This is my 10th anniversary review of Juiced. There are 6 categories that I grade games on. Gameplay, graphics, sound, soundtrack, menus, and replayability. In this review, I will analyze all 6 of these aspects to see exactly how well made Juiced really is. The game was developed, fittingly, by Juice Games, last known as THQ Digital Studios UK. Well, they won't be making any more games now, and they actually didn't make any games before. Juice Games was formed from Rage Software in 2004, and this was their first big release. Well, the first thing people will notice about how Juice plays is that the cars are really stiff to drive at slow speeds. It feels like you're driving a giant rock. This can be good if you want to keep control of your car, but not if you really want to win races. You'll have to be driving on the edge of disaster at all times to keep up with your opponents. It's a good challenge. As you work your way through career mode, and that's right, there's a career mode, you will find yourself in steadily faster cars. The faster your car is, the less stiff it is to drive. Take a look at this graph I made. The faster you go, the harder it is for you to drive. That's how it is for me anyway. Review sites like to use this against the game, saying that driving only a Class 5 car or higher is nearly impossible. Look, I know I've been playing it for 10 years, but you really have to suck at games not to be able to drive the Class 5 cars. Speaking of classes, that is how cars are divided into this game. There are 8 classes your car could fall into, ranging by performance. Classes go up every 100 horsepower. If your car has 199, you've got it made in Class 8. But if you increase by just a single HP point, you're bumped up to the next class where you have to deal with faster cars. You'll have to experiment with which parts you use to get the perfect performance package for whichever class you'd like your car to be in, which means spending a lot of extra money on stuff you won't use anyway. Let's talk about career mode. The second you start a new career, you're thrusted straight into a narration about Angel City and how awesome it is, and how it is definitely not supposed to be based off LA. The first character you meet is TK. This guy is a pretty cool dude. Not only does he give you one of his cars to drive, but it's also the superior of the 2 cars that he brought.
Nice wheels. Sure beats the hell out of mine.
And on top of this, he even places a $2,000 bet for the both of you to race for. Gotta love TK. Anyway, you'll easily destroy TK, and once you do that, you need to buy your own car from the luxurious Mr. Jeff's Motors. You have 3 to choose from. They're all in. The next couple of races that you enter will be very easy. The best way to get ahead in this game early is to start making your own races. By doing this, you can set race length, where the race is located, how many drivers will enter, that kind of stuff. If you do this for the first 3 or so races and make them as long as possible, you'll easily earn respect points from other drivers. Ugh, respect points. Here's the reason right here why the game fails, in my opinion. You know what game was released a year before Juice? Test Drive Eva Destruction. You know what you do in that game? You hit shit. Lots and lots of shit. Guess what term that NASCAR broadcasters coined in honor of brutal short track racing? Rubbins Racing. In Juiced, you are forced by several game mechanics to drive as cleanly as you physically can. Take that respect meter, for instance. What happens when you tap an opponent? You take a big hit in respect points. This is where I really want to scream! This is the respect page. Here you can see how wet the dreams of competitors are whenever you pass by. Look at all the shit that you need respect to do. You can't even watch other people's races unless you have 100 respect with them. Do all these guys need 100 respect? Do they have bouncers prepared to beat you senseless if you come by just to watch the races? Here's where the respect meter gets to be a problem. You see this douchebag? His name is Carlos. The only way to get respect from him is by winning pink slip races. How do you enter pink slip races, you may ask? Well, you need 600 respect points from competitors before they will accept pink slip races from you. How do you earn respect points? You need to do races. And when you do races, the car gets away from you once in a while. And there goes all those respect points. You see how it can get tedious after 10 years? Okay, I can understand why they made this a mechanic. I would lose respect for the asshole that decides to wreck my car. I get it. The problem is that there's no easy way to earn that respect back. Watch as all this hard-earned respect is eviscerated. If there was a way to, gain respect if you made, clean passes, such as in NASCAR games, then it wouldn't be so bad. It would be balanced. The only way to get any points at all from some people is to complete the race in at least third place. And even then, it's minimal amount. But tap them in the ass just once, and any chance of you gaining respect from him in that race is gone. Take a look at this. This is the highest driver bet in the game that you can place. Once you win that bet, the character you earn respect for gambling will pay out 5 points! How can anyone possibly earn respect from this guy to get to hosting levels? Wow, all this ranting, and I haven't even talked about car customization. Remember how in Midnight Club 3 on most tuners you had upwards of 20 options and visual modifications to each part of the car? Well, in Juiced, you get 3. Exactly 3. No more, no less. Well, except for some cars with less, or you can't even modify at all. That's ridiculous! Cars start looking identical after 10 years with only 3 options. In the Matrix, you get 2 choices, red or blue. In Juiced, you get 3 options, all of which will give you mental breakdowns. Sometimes the best looking option will be cheapest, but you don't want to purchase the cheapest. You need to put the most money into every car you own. You need it. You need it in the one you drive to get the best car respect from Jack, and you need it in all the other cars to get the car collection respect from Melody. Was this respect meter really necessary in the first place? I thank the gaming gods that the respect meter doesn't appear in the sequel. There are so many problems with it that leak simply into designing your car. Let's talk about actual gameplay now. There's 3 basic modes of racing: circuit, point-to-point, sprints, and show-offs. The circuits are the most obvious of the 4. Turn a certain number of laps, the first one to complete them all wins. You get respect from TK for winning these. Sprints are basically drag races. Drive in a straight line, shift at the right time, waste all of your boost right at the start, and make sure you have long gear ratios at Maria's. I should probably mention that you're free to drive wherever on the track in Juiced, rather than the lane mechanics in games like Need for Speed. You'll get respect points from Black Vin Diesel, Biggie Mombasa, for winning these. Point-to-points are like sprints, only with circuit mechanics. Get from one side of the map to the other first. TK gives you respect for winning them. Show-offs are a whole different beast entirely. It's such a jump from the rest of the game that it needs a whole menu of tutorials just to explain it all. Basically, you're just performing a bunch of stunts and earning points based off of how much skill you have. Some tricks are so easy that you'll do them so often you'll end up losing points. Others are so tough, I'm convinced they're impossible. I have played the game for 10 years, and I have never gotten credited for a 180. If you hit the wall while stunting, your multiplier will reset, and you basically lose if you've gotten a lot of points in the past. There are bonus zones where if you do a certain trick, you'll get extra points, but some of them are a bit absurd. How on earth am I supposed to do a 360 here? You get respect from Sue from doing these events. Now let's talk about the actual driving. Just kidding, there's even more stuff to talk about regarding the events themselves. You earn crew members to drive with as the game progresses. You can enter them in races you don't want to do, or enter crew races, which puts more drivers on your side on the track. This can make your life pretty miserable, because while you can sort of control how fast they drive, they're still pretty much under complete AI control. Just go around him! Maria gives you respect for winning crew races. Once you add pink slip races to the bundle, that's all the racing and juiced. Oh, what a lot of stuff. And considering that, it all meshes pretty well together. Now let's talk about the driving. Like I said, it's like driving a giant stiff rock. As cars get faster, they do get more difficult to handle. Classes 1 and 2 are pretty insane though. Cars have so much power coming out of slow corners that you need to use pressure sensitivity to steadily work your way through the gears again. Cars perform considerably at their best from the 6 to 4 range. They aren't too stiff or too loose. You can really let your skills shine at this pace. It doesn't excuse the possibility of classes 1 and 2. It really is a challenge, working the cars tough. I think the AI is too good though. Sue will fuck you right in the ass if you try a class 2 pink slip race against her. That being said, the AI at times can't even play itself. Look at this! What is happening? All in all, while the game is unbelievably stressful at times, if you play it in your comfort zone, it can be really fun. I give Juiced 6 out of 10 for gameplay. The graphics are... Cars are really detailed, so you can tell they were really trying to impress the people they bought the licenses from. Damage isn't really that impressive though. Speaking of damage, if you hit enough stuff, car performance starts to go away. I just thought I'd throw that in. Animations of your competitors are not really impressive. I'm just glad that their lips sync up to the words they're saying. Environments are pretty, but nothing special. Decals look pretty good though. I give Juiced 6 out of 10 for graphics. The sounds of Juiced. Where do we start? First of all, most cars sound identical. Sure, some have unique sounds, but when most sound like... it can get old after a while. People will chant and scream off to the side as well. It's a nice detail. Screeching isn't really impressive, but it isn't in the real world either, really. Another fun thing is that when you bet with another driver, whenever you pass them, they yell at you.
Nice try.
Honestly, I'm taking away a point from sound for this alone.
Shut the fuck up!
I give Juiced 7 out of 10 for sound. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my favorite game soundtracks. It may just be Stockholm Syndrome from playing the game for 10 years, but I really love this music. Moving Units is one of my favorite bands now, and I didn't even know about them before playing Juice. Between Us and Them is a masterpiece. It has a lot of alternative songs you need to like the style of which in general to enjoy them, and has a few club hits too. All in all, I give Juiced 9 out of 10 for soundtrack. Up next is menus. You may wonder why I choose to rate menus for the overall game. I just think that being able to navigate exactly where you want to get in a game needs to be fluent and simple. Otherwise, you end up fiddling around with these things much longer than you want to be. In general, menus aren't really that stressful. You can find your way around easily and everything should work fine. After your disc gets old and scratched, it'll begin freezing on betting screens and occasionally on loading screens. You can get past this by opening the PS2 and closing it again. Do that for a while and you should break out of the temporal lock. Okay, I've been waiting to say this for a very long time. This game is one of the biggest reasons next to NASCAR The Game 2013 that I choose to review menus, and I'm about to say why now. Brace yourselves. Remember how tough it is to earn respect points? Well, if you actually do manage to get enough respect points to race for pink slips, the menus become a minefield you'll have to traverse. You've seen this screen plenty of times during the review. Just imagine seeing this screen every 5 seconds. Randomly on the menus you'll most frequent in the game, meaning the main menu and the race menus, you'll get a call from another driver asking if you want to do a race for pink slips. The most rational person would probably say no. This is the worst mistake you could possibly make. Characters will lose respect points if you choose not to do the race. Believe it or not, asshole, a race you didn't even know you were about to participate in 30 seconds ago that will always put your most powerful car on the line isn't really that appealing to most human beings. And these calls never stop, no matter how many pink slip races you do. You'll always lose respect points if you say no, and you'll probably always lose a race once the cars start getting faster. It may seem like a no-win situation, but I've figured out how to get around this unbelievably annoying occurrence. Whenever you're called, accept the challenge. Go through the event screen, select your car, and once you get to this screen, leave. You won't lose respect points, and you won't lose your car. It will seem as if the call had never come. The only issue here is your win-loss ratio will be affected, but I think that's okay rather than losing 35 fucking respect points. If you're quick, you can usually avoid these calls, but they can be a real bitch. You could be looking to attend another event entirely, and you aren't even safe in your own garage from these calls. And sometimes you'll be playing a nice game of NASCAR 07, and you'll get a call from Jack asking you to race for your race car. And then there'll be times when you're just driving around in your own car, and suddenly Carlos will hit you up demanding to race for pinks. Okay, the last two is lies, but that's what this whole pink slip on the menu situation does to the game of Juiced. It really makes you want to forget about it, which is a real shame. I give Juiced 4 out of 10 for menus. Every time you pick up the game, you're in for a different experience. Whether it's a different race, a different car, or a different crew member. Every race is unique, and every lap is its own little memory. This game has been one of my go-to games for 10 years, and if that's not enough, it took me nearly 8 years to 100% only one of my saves. And wow, do I have a lot of saves. You never know what you're getting into when you put Juiced into your PS2. Except that you'll get a lot of calls to go pink slip racing. I give Juiced 9 out of 10 for replayability. That's all my grading criteria out of the way. Time for the final score. Before that, let me mention a few things I haven't yet. And there's a lot of them. There's a design saver that you can save your car design so you don't have to toil when making your next car look like the rest. There's a dynamometer that'll tell you how your car is affected with its current setup, and even a test track that you can take to see for yourself. There's also driver challenges that you can access through your phone. You have to complete all 3 for each driver to be able to 100% the game. There's time challenges, perfect lap challenges where you can't hit the wall, and speed challenges where you can't fall under a certain speed. They're all annoying in their own ways and will challenge you in some way. There is also an entire arcade mode separate from the main game that comes with its own unique challenges, like Extreme Nitro. And there's online, too. Now for the final score. Keep in mind this is my opinion and personal experiences I've took from the game. Your game may be broken and wrong if you have any other experiences. After grading the game over the 6 categories, I have come up with the final score. I was about to get mad that I hadn't even recorded anything yet. Okay, after grading the game over the 6 categories, I have come up with the final score of 7 out of 10. It has its flaws. This is expected for a developer's big first release. The driving is hard at times, the graphics aren't really impressive, sound is subpar, and menus are a real bitch. So why do I keep coming back? It's simple. The game is fun. You genuinely enjoy yourself so long as your respect meter remains green. It's great to pick up and play. I really love this game and its soundtrack. I recommend everyone to play it. It may seem like I've really torn this game a new asshole, but if you don't believe me, try it for yourself. That being said, I was really excited to hear that the game did indeed get a sequel. I couldn't wait for a renewed version of this game I held near and dear for 2 years. I couldn't wait to play. What the hell is that? Well, you need 600 respect points from blah 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 blah. Well, you need 600 respect points from competitors before they will I'm gonna sneeze, and that's why I'm screwing up. That's the fucking reason, okay? That being said, That being said, I was really excited to hear that the game got it. Oh, you can't be fucking serious. I was really excited. Oh, you can't be. I was really excited. I was really excited.